Hello and welcome to the admin role guide for the Smart Stormwater / Smart City System 1.0 project. I'm Ricardo and I'll be showing you and guiding you through the multiple different properties that admins are able to do on our system. So first we're going to sign in to an admin account and get things started. So now we're taken to this overview dashboard page where it's probably one of the most important pages, definitely, because here's where you'll see a table of all the devices assigned to you and a lot of their properties. So first is the device identifier, so you know which device you're looking at. The battery level telling you how much battery it has left before before the device just runs out of power and therefore cannot sense anymore. So you might have to go out and change it, or maybe not. It could last a little bit longer depending on the level. Next, we have the fill level, and for this you got to understand that devices are paired with these bins and they're installed under the sewers that way when trash goes into the sewers, and the bin captures them and the sensor just returns how full that bin is. So with the 57% fill level, it essentially is telling us the bin is just over half full. Same thing with 59%, just about the same. And obviously it grows and grows and grows until it'll say 99, 100. Then it's completely full, and hopefully someone goes out, cleans it up. Then it'll be reduced back to 0, 1, 2, very low fill level. And you see it how it currently is. Next is the sensing interval. So the sensing interval is how often do you want the sensor to check? Do you want to check every 5 minutes, every 20, every hour, every 12 hours? It's up to you. If you want to change it, for example, to 20 minutes, this season hasn't been that bad. It hasn't rained a lot, so not a whole lot of trash is going around. Maybe you want to do every 20 minutes just to save the battery level, perhaps. Often intervals of like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or you're using up power more than 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So if you want to change it, you got to select the one you want to change it to, select the device, go to the Actions tab over here on the right and click Update Sensing Interval, and this will tell the device that, hey, we're changing the interval to 20 minutes now, or whatever it is you decide to change it to. And then finally we have the address, so we know exactly where these devices are located. And it could be kind of vague, maybe you don't know the area very well, or this particular address doesn't come up in your mind, so you want a more concrete representation of it. You can scroll down and you see your devices displayed on a Google Maps frame here. And when you click on them, you see which device it is and the address, and now you have a much more clear representation of where the devices are located. Now you may notice that they're both yellow. The points can be green, yellow, or red depending on the fill level and what you in your account decided to make the green to yellow threshold, as well as the yellow to red threshold. If you see one of these being green, that means it's a very low level. It's not anything really to keep tabs on. It's been cleaned out recently, so it's fine. If it's yellow, it means it's starting to get pretty full. So you might want to take a look at it and be mindful of it. Or it could be red, which essentially needs to be cleaned up as soon as possible. And these thresholds can be changed in the user settings, which we will get to later. And now you may have seen in the Actions tab that there's also this Update GPS. This is because if you change the location of one device to somewhere else, and you obviously want to know where the address is, especially if you're going to show it off in Google's map, you're going to want to select the device or devices, it could be multiple or just one, that you want to update the GPS. Select it, go to the Actions tab, click Update GPS, and the address should change. It doesn't change now because it's still in the same place, so there really is no reason to expect any changes. And now you may have noticed this chart kind of turning on and off as I've been selecting this device. This is because the way this chart works is this is how you can see the progression of the fill level as time goes on. So you want to select the device first that you're interested in looking at the fill level, and it fills up in the chart, and you're able to go to these points, and it gives you more information of in November 16, 2017 at 6 a.m. the fill level was 12, and the 17 at 12 was 27, and you can see this progression happening. And we go from here from 92% fill level to 1. Now these drastic drops essentially are telling you that someone went and collected what was in the bin. So now it reset it back from such a high fill level down to a low fill level. And that's mainly it for this whole dashboard overview page. Very important page. Now, for admins, if you see in this navigation bar up here, you're able to see these two tabs where the user roles don't. And I'll explain why. So first we have the users and devices page. This page is also very important because there's a lot of functionality that goes in here that only the admins should be able to have. First and foremost, only admins are able to add users. So if I go in here, it'll take me to the register account page. You fill this up, you click register, it'll take you back to the overview page, and then from there you can go back to the sub-users list, and you'll see your new user filled out here. Now you could check all, uncheck all, just for easier access for both the users list and the device list. For the users list, it's very important to understand the users that you see are the ones you create. So I create a second sub-user, delete this user, first sub-user. However, I am an admin and I could create a new user, such like first sub-user is. He's an admin, therefore he also has this power to add a new user. If that admin makes another account, whether it be admin or user, I cannot see them. I can only see the people I create, not the accounts that my sub-users have created. So if first sub-user created an account called first sub-user, I cannot see them. That's just the way the system has been made for this version. It can definitely be improved, but for now that's how it is. Now you can, for each of these sub-users, you can modify their information, such like delete the sub-user. Let's say I wanted to change this to an admin. We can save settings, it'll take us back to the overview page, and now delete this user is now an admin. That person now has these privileges that we're going over now. But let's say we want to delete the sub-user because he changed his name to delete the sub-user. He doesn't want to be part of the system anymore. He's not much use. So we can also delete. Now nothing really happens, nothing displays, but if you get out and come back in, you'll notice delete this user has finally been deleted as per his wish, and we're only having second sub-user and first sub-user. Now, one of the biggest components to the system is being able to assign devices, because that's the only way that multiple people can see the devices that are really relevant to them. So for first sub-user, let's say we want to assign the first device to them. So we select that user, that device, and then click assign devices to users. Assignment saved. Great. But I forgot to maybe add in this sub-user. And for the second sub-user, I want to add the other device. You could still also assign that as well. And honestly, any combination is allowed, where you can assign one sub-user to one device or to multiple devices, just like you could have multiple sub-users assigned to one or multiple devices. It's up to you. You have complete control of who has who. Now, once you've assigned your devices, it makes sense that you want to see and make sure that they've been assigned properly, or you just want to check, has this user been given this device yet, and you don't really know. So you could come up here to the navigation bar for the second sort of privilege that admins get, and they come to this page. So the way it works is you have your list of devices. You're going to select a device, and on the right, the table will filter with the sub-users that have this device. So we've assigned the first one to both of them, and the second device, same thing. And again, this is only for the immediate sub-users, not any that your sub-user has created. But let's say that, second sub-user shouldn't really be having this. He's been moved to another region or something, and he doesn't need to look at this device anymore. So you select the device to see the sub-user, you select, and you click unassign. Assignments deleted, okay. And he's going to be dashed out, giving that indication of this person is no longer given access to this device. And if you switch out and you come back in, you'll see that he's also gone for good. And of course you could check all or uncheck all just to make things a little bit easier. And just to make sure that the assignment works. Second sub-user to the first cap we've assigned, and if we select it, he's there again. So you can assign and unassign at your leisure whenever you want. So those two are the main privileges of the admin role. But now we're going to go to the notifications page, which is this little bell icon. And you can see all the different types of notification on the second column, with which device, what location, what date. Now, the notifications can be changed based on your settings, and we'll go over that in just a second, but this is essentially all it is, just a list of notifications. It's capped at, I believe, 50 or 100, just to not have this page being growing and growing as time goes on. And we're going to user settings. So I mentioned the green to yellow threshold and yellow to red threshold. So right now it's 30 and 60. And this is the point in which you go from green to yellow in the Google Maps. And this is the one where it goes from yellow to red. What line does it have to cross to change color, essentially? And it's all up to you. You can make this super early at 15 and maybe really late. You don't care until it's like 80. And you could save the information, and it'll save in the back end for you, and that's it. That's all you have to do. Save information, that's it. Now for the notification settings, as I was mentioned before, there are different types of notifications, and you could turn them on or off for website and email notifications. So for example, we had GPS updates in our notifications page. Let's say we don't really care about GPS updates, We want to turn that off. We don't want to see it anymore. So we're going to save. And if we go to the notifications page, there is no more GPS updated. So we don't see them there. And if I turn it back on, information saved, you'll see GPS updated. And it's the same thing with emails. You want them on, turn them on, click save, and you will be getting in your email. Now there's also this email list down here as well, where you can add a new email, such as, let's say, demoworks@gmail.com. You click save, and if you come back in, you'll see demoworks@email.com. And if you want to delete, you check it, click save, and of course you have to come back out and in, and it's gone. So that's notification settings and account settings, and that will be all for the admin's guide for this Smart Stormwater Smart City System 1.0 guide. I hope you've enjoyed it, and feel free to check out the other guide for regular users for this application. So thank you very much for watching. It's greatly appreciated, and leave any feedback in the comments is appreciated. Thank you very much.